Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a desert style house. Oh, and by the way, just in case you have any more building related needs, feel free to not only check out the description below in which I will house all of my tutorial playlists, but also feel free to check out the card system in which I'll link more specific videos that I think that you guys will really like. Moving on, if you want to make the house, here's what you're going to need. You will need some regular sandstone and some chiseled sandstone. Grab dark oak wood planks and grab yourself some dark oak wood stairs. Then grab some dark oak wood fence. Then grab yourself some white stained glass pane. And if you want to mess about with the outside of the house, you might also want to grab some cacti and also grab some regular old sand. And those are the only materials that I think that we're going to be needing. I've been wrong about this before, but I think we'll be alright. So once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off your house with this. Do 7 chiseled sandstone coming directly up from the ground. That's 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to do another row of 7 sandstone directly to the right of that first row. You then want to do an additional row in front of each one of those 2 rows. So you kind of want to have like a pillar of chiseled sandstone like this. Once you have that pillar of chiseled sandstone, you now, starting from the back right hand bottom corner block, so this one right here, you want to go right of this block on the ground with this sequence of blocks. So you actually want to do 7 regular sandstone blocks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to do a chiseled sandstone. Go up on top of that chiseled sandstone by 9, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then go right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then connect that 4th block down to the ground, like so. And by the way guys, since we are here, I'm just interrupting this for a second, since we are right here, the entrance to the house is actually designed to go right here in the bottom center part of the shape that we've just made. It'll actually look a little something like this. It's one higher than you actually need, and we're going to place a white stained glass pane at the top of the entrance. And then if you want to continue on with the entrance, since we are here, we might as well add a couple of details to it. If you want to do a layer of chiseled sandstone just above it, then do a row of dark oak wood planks left and right of the inside of that little middle shape, and then do white stained glass pane directly sandwiched in between the center of those 2 dark oak wood planks to give you this shape. Once you've done that, you've pretty much constructed the entrance. It actually looks a little bit more 3D than this. Let me show you actually. So basically, all of the chiseled sandstone that we placed there will then be extending it out in front of the house by 1 row like this. So it'll just kind of, you know, put things into perspective. So now it's kind of like in line with the sandstone pillar that we have on the left hand side. But of course, we won't go into do that until later. But just to show you guys, once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So you now want to take the original chiseled sandstone that we connected to the ground, so this one right here, and we want to continue going right of it by 7 with the regular sandstone. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to do 2 chiseled sandstone, 1, 2, and then we want to go on top of each one of those sandstones each by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the right one as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what you then want to do, just as we did with the first one of these, we then just want to take each one of those 2 rows and extend them coming out forward like this. And we just want to end up with something that should look like that. And of course, that's just going to be the front of the house, or at least close enough. We've got a little bit more to do. Let's continue going around, shall we? So continuing off from where we just finished off, we now want to take this first chiseled sandstone that we've placed, so this like back left hand corner bottom chiseled sandstone, and we want to go right of this going towards where the back of the house is going to be by 7 with the sandstone. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to do 2 chiseled sandstone like so, and then we want to go up on top of each one of those by 6, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to extend those out, coming out of the side of the house each by 1 row like that, so we now have our pillars. And then what we want to do is we want to take this first chiseled sandstone that we placed on the ground, and looking forward at the front of our house, we now want to go right of this by 7 with the regular sandstone block, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to do a chiseled sandstone. Then go up on top of that chiseled sandstone by 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then go right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go all the way down to the ground like so. Connect that block all the way back to where you first started right there to give you a rectangular shape. And what you can also do, guys, is you can... Okay, so how do I best describe this? So when we have this empty space, you want to find the 5th block starting from the bottom coming up. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect that 5th block from the left to the right to give us a horizontal row, and now we kind of have like a figure of 8, which we can now extend coming out of the back of the house. And this is just a little bit of a 3D section that we want to have, and we may as well do it now whilst we're actually at this point right here. So we just want to have this shape. Same thing that we have on the front. Let's move on. So once you've done that, you now want to take out your sandstone once more, and starting from this chiseled sandstone block that touches the ground, you want to go right of this by 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then right by 2 with your chiseled sandstone, 1, 2, and you might guess what's coming next. Go on top of each one of these by 6 with the chiseled sandstone, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend each one of those 2 rows out of the back of the house, each by 1 like that, to give you this shape. What we can then do is we can now just connect the front and the back of the house together, and I'm sure that you guys know which block to connect. So what we want to end up with, and this is just going to be kind of like a bird's eye view looking down, what we want to end up with should look a little bit like this, and hopefully that's not going to be too difficult for you guys. Perfect. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So now it's probably about time for us to do all of the walls of the house, and first of all we have to construct them. So you can see on the front and the back of the house where we have this horizontal row of chiseled sandstone, well, starting 1 block backwards, so in line with the sandstone that we have on the ground, we kind of want to connect the house together like this. So we kind of want to do a parallel layer of regular sandstone that runs all the way around the house, and it just wants to, like I said, it wants to be in line with that horizontal row of chiseled sandstone that we have on the front and the back of the house. And I'm sure that you guys won't have too much trouble doing it, but I'm going to show you guys in a second what this will look like. And what we're doing is we're essentially just constructing the walls, and then we can fill them in actually, and then we can tune the house a little bit. So what we want to have, guys, should look a little bit like this, and I'm sure you can see exactly how we managed to arrive at this, hopefully, probably, maybe. So once you've got that taken care of, guys, this is what you want to do next. It's quite easy, actually. But so, start on the front left-hand side of the house. You can see on top of this base layer of sandstone that we have right here, going right here, do this sequence of blocks, and move your dark oak wood planks closer to your sandstone. So starting from on top of this, going all the way around the house, do this sequence of blocks. Do 1 sandstone, 1 dark oak wood plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone. Move through the entrance onto the opposite side and continue the pattern. Sandstone, plank, plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone. Move through onto the side. Sandstone, plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone. Kind of sound like a Doug trio. Trio, trio, trio. On the back, sandstone, plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone, plank, sandstone. And when we get to this center part here, we'll actually fill this in a little later. Don't worry about this. Although, on the second floor of this, it actually just wants to mirror what we have on the front. So, just 1 block backwards in relation to the chiseled sandstone archway sort of thing that we have up here. You just want to do 2 layers of dark oak wood planks, and then just throw some white stained glass paint in between them to give you this. But then we can continue the pattern, guys, and we don't want to do it down here. Although, you know, whilst we are here, we may as well do this. So this is how I designed this little bottom section here. All I did was a layer of upside down, and these do have to be upside down, a layer of upside down dark oak wood stairs just at the bottom here, then a layer of white stained glass paint on top, and then a layer of dark oak wood stairs, regular facing dark oak wood stairs on top there. And I know that that is outwards in relation to like the bit that we have above it, but that's how I designed it and that's how I like it. So moving on round, now we can just return to the pattern. So of course it's sandstone, oak, sandstone, oak, sandstone, oak, sandstone, and then sandstone, oak, sandstone, oak, sandstone, oak, sandstone. So we just want to have something which should look like this, and of course that goes all the way around the house. Now, for the next part, you might want to move your white stained glass pane closer to each of those materials. So what we now want to do is we want to follow this pattern again, except on top of the sandstone, you place sandstone, on top of the wood, you place glass. So it'll look a little something like this. It will just of course be sandstone glass, sandstone glass, sandstone glass, just going all the way around. I don't need to describe this, I don't need to keep saying that, do I guys? It's basically on top of the wood you place glass, everywhere else sandstone, and I'm sure that you guys get the idea. I'm sure that I don't have to parrot that back to you anymore, but we've got to do this, and then after we've done that, we're then going to do a final layer of the sandstone and the wood. So once you have this, we now want to do the sandstone and the wood again. So going around, of course, it's just the same pattern that we've already done once already. And then to make things look a little bit better, we're going to do stairs, upside down and regular, in front of each one of the individual windows. I've tried this without the stairs, don't think it looks as good, so we're going to be doing stairs in front of them. I think it looks quite nice, it gives it that nice little poppy 3D effect. So we're going to have something which should look a little bit like this, and you can see that this is a little bit boring, but what we're now going to do, like I said, dark upside down, dark oak wood stairs on the bottoms of the windows, as you might guess, and then above the windows we're going to have regular facing stairs. So going all the way around, guys, you can see we're just doing upside down, and then just above we'll have the regular facing stairs. And I'm not going to take a break for this, so I'm just going to continue going all the way around, and then I'll show you guys how the windows look, because it's not really complicated, is it? I'm sure that you guys will be able to figure this out no problem, even if even if my instructions or destructions have not been satisfactory. So we're just filling all of this in, and there we go. So what we want to have so far should look a little bit like that. What's the next step, you're probably asking yourself? So now we have to make this kind of look like a little bit of a sand castle, and to do this we want to have this. So once you've reached this point right here, starting from the top front left hand side, so on top of this block right here, going right, and this is going all the way around the top of our sand castle, you want to do one chiseled sandstone block, one fence, block, fence, block, fence, block, and it continues around. It's that pattern. It's block, fence, block, fence, block, fence, block. On the right hand side now, of course, block, fence, block, fence, block, fence, block. We're on the back, block, fence, block, fence, block, fence, so on and so forth. I don't have to keep repeating it, do I? So we just want to have this pattern going all the way around the top, and I don't know, it just gives it a bit more of an interesting shape, rather than it just being flat, or rather than us just using like regular glass, and it's kind of got that fort look to it anyway. So once you've got that taken care of, guys, actually, you know what, the main part of the house is actually done from here on out. What I'm now going to do is mess about with the exterior a little bit and the interior, but I wasn't planning on doing this on recording, but I don't think that this house has taken very long, so why don't we get to it? So the first thing that I'm going to have to do, I'm going to dig out the floor for the inside of the house. I'm going to dig this out, and I'm going to use, I think, stone bricks for this. I think I'm going to use stone bricks. That's what I used for the original, and I really wouldn't mind using it again for this. So we're just going to have to grab those, and those stone bricks that I'm going to use, we're going to use those as a little bit of a path that comes out in front of the house. We're not going to have a path that goes all the way around the house as I usually have. I usually have paths that go all around the house and into the house, and it usually looks quite nice, but we're not going to have that. So let's grab the stone bricks now, and let's mark out the path. So the path is going to, come on, so the path is actually going to start from where the actual entrance is, like where the dark oak wood of the entrance. It's going to come out in front of the house by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, like that. On the left and right hand sides of the little path, we're going to have dark oak wood planks, and everywhere else we're going to have stone bricks. And the stone bricks, as you can see, we're just placing these all the way around the inside as well. So this is what the floor for this house is actually going to be. It's just going to be stone bricks. What we then have to do, we have to add a roof to this house. We have to add a roof. Not a roof, sorry. What am I thinking? A ceiling. We have to add a ceiling. I say roof. It's because this thing's essentially a bungalow. Oh, plus we also have to connect the front and the back of the house together. How could I forget? But, yeah. Good job I didn't end the tutorial there, because we do have to do that. We have to, like, connect the front center and the back center parts of the house together. But as you can see, we have... Come on. As you can see, we have now completely filled in the floor, like this, and what we're now going to do, like I mentioned, we're now just going to fill in the top floor of the house, and where this is, it's just where we have those like horizontal rows of chiseled sandstone both on the front and the back of the house. I'm sure that you guys could have figured that out without me telling you, but you know, I have told you, so now you can't figure it out because I already gave it away. Spoiler alert, that's where the floor goes. So we're going to start building it from the other side now, just because I kind of feel as I've got my back up against the wall. And once we've done this, like I said, we're now going to connect the front and the back of the house together, or at least the middle part, because this thing doesn't have like a really big roof. It's kind of like open on top. It's kind of like a little fort, so we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. Perfect. So next thing on the agenda, take out the chiseled sandstone and connect, as I keep mentioning, the front middle part and the back middle part of this thing together. So we're now just filling in the top now that we've connected the corners, and then we're just going to turn this little middle section into a little bit of a room. So we're just going to fill in the walls a little bit, and we're going to then probably carve out an entrance. It has to be in the center, doesn't it? 1 2 3 on the left, 1 2 3 on the right. We could even, if we wanted to implement some glass, we could have a little bit of glass there if we so chose. We could have glass going all the way around if we wanted a bit more of a proper looking entrance. We could even add wood to it. Again, completely up to you. So we're now just filling in this opposite side with our chiseled sandstone. Yep, there we go. I only have to do 1 2, connect one at the top, and then I just have to do white stained glass pane everywhere else. So now this turns into a nice little tiny room, and now we're I don't know why I said that to it. Now sounds like the beginning of a song. Now we're just going to add it in the staircase. So we're only going to have one staircase, and I would prefer it to be right in the center here, just because otherwise we're going to have a staircase that kind of like pops up on top of each one of the two, well, if you want to call them that. I guess we kind of have like 2 balconies on the left and right hand side of the house, so the only suitable part for the entrance, or for the staircase I should say, I think it's like right here, right near the entrance, and it brings us up into this tiny little room here, and then of course we can choose whether to go left or right. So far we have something which looks a little bit like this, and for the exterior wise, all we have to do now, I'm going to take out the sand, and I'm going to dig around an area around the house. So what are we on? This is like 1 2 3, there we go, and we're just going to stay 3 blocks away from the house at all times. 1 2 3, and then we're going to dig out the entire area, replace it with sand, and then we're going to throw some cacti, probably on the 4 corners, just because, you know, this house is symmetrical. If this house wasn't symmetrical, I'd probably throw some stones around. I'd probably throw, you know, cactuses, cacti, what am I doing? Cacti all over the place, but this house is symmetrical. It's nice, it looks very uniform, so we're going to be placing a cactus on each one of the 4 corners, and we'll place them all on the very same place, which will probably be this spot right here, the one that I just had highlighted, not like the corner block closest to the house, diagonally from the house, but it'll be the one afterwards. You guys will see what I'm talking about. You guys will see what I'm getting at. So we're just, oh god, come on. Okay, so this is the least favorite part of mine, and this is what I usually cut out of videos. You know when I usually cut out parts of tutorials, like when I reach like an end of a tutorial, when like I've just got a roof to do, and then it's like, okay, why don't I show you the one that I made earlier? This is the reason. It's because I don't want things like this usually in the tutorial, because it's really boring to watch, and there's nothing really to say whilst I'm actually doing this, and it usually takes a really long time. Like, this isn't so bad, this isn't taking such an exorbitant amount of time as it usually would, but typically when you're cutting out large areas like this, especially if you're like doing, I don't know, like if you're making Burger King. I've just got Burger King on my mind because well, number one, I like Burger King, but number two, we actually have a Burger King over there in that direction. So, you know, when I'm doing like interiors like that, that could literally take like an hour or two, just depending on how much of an area that I've got to actually like dig out and fill in. But I don't need to tell you guys this. I'm sure that you've spent a lot of time yourselves doing exactly that. You spent loads of time. Oh my god, come on. Oh my Lanta. Alright, good. So now all we have to do is fill in these. Oh no, we don't. No, we don't. We completely forgot about this. Yep, okay, so now we can just fill in these two empty rows going all the way around. But I'm sure that you guys have enough experience with this. One of the most painful experiences that I've ever had in a tutorial, and I didn't include all of it in a tutorial. If you guys have seen my Sandy's tree house, including Tree Dome, that dome, Sandy's tree dome, is a nightmare. It's the worst. It took hours, 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 hours. It took so many hours for me to do that thing. It takes an incredibly large amount of time. That's why I don't include things like this in the actual videos typically. That's basically what I'm getting at, just a little bit of a whining session. But now you can see that we've added some sand going all the way around the house. We're now going to add some cactus. We'll do 1, 2, 3 rows of 3 cactuses, cacti, what am I saying again, 1, 2, 3. We'll do 2 cacti like on the front, like in the 2 corners, like midway between the actual ending of the sand and the actual beginning of the house. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side as well. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and on this opposite one, 1, 2, 3. And that will be the exterior pretty much done. Now, I hadn't really figured out an interior for this thing. I really hadn't, because, I mean, there's very limited things that you can do with such a small amount of space, and on top of here, like, I kind of want these parts to be completely empty, like, I don't want anything up here. But if you were kind of, you know, struggling for an interior, something that I usually do, and something that might not even make any sense in this kind of house, because it is the desert, something that I always like to add, I like to add a nice little bit of a fireplace, and I typically like to use regular cobblestone and some like stone stairs, and they end up looking a little something like this. How can I make this look a little bit better? I mean, you can kind of just freehand it. Can kind of look a little bit like this. And we probably want some fire in there as well. What's that block that always stays alight? Where is that thing? Where is it? I know it exists. There we go. So we have some netherrack, and then we should be able to set that on fire, right? Oh god, I don't know where any of the tools are. This is unbelievable. So we could just set that light, and we might not even want it to look like that. We might want it to look a little bit more like this. That's not too bad of a fireplace. We might even want to cover that up a little bit. That's not too bad, is it? That doesn't look too terrible. It doesn't make too much sense, since again, we are in the desert, and then you might just want to... We'd probably want dark oak wood furniture. If we were doing anything, we might want to have like a little bit of a sofa just in front of here, and I always like to put like a coffee table or something to like put your feet up here. That always seems to make sense. What else can we do? We could always have like a little bit of a carpet, actually. We could have a carpet. I don't know why, but I've been feeling like the picnic table carpet would be nice. So, or maybe a rug. Maybe we could have a nice rug going like around the stairs or something. Maybe that's what we could do. We could place it going all the way around the stairs, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Red would go there, wouldn't it? And maybe we can then extend that out. No, kind of like that. And then something that I always like to add as well, just because they're really easy to make look good, and just because I like the aesthetic of them, I always like massive bookcases and like little study looking areas. I always like those. Get rid of that, and then I like to put some potted plants, preferably with colourful flowers in them. Colourful flowers are always good. Roses are always nice. Then maybe put a little bit more of a seating area in here. Can we? What shall we do here? What shall we do? No, that's too small. That's a little bit too small. So maybe like this. I kind of like the corner setup, and then we can put an enchanting table right in the center, because it just makes sense with all of the bookcases. And what else can we place here? I feel as though that we could have something here. You know what? We don't even really need anything else. It actually looks kind of okay as is. I mean, if you wanted to, something that I like to place around a lot as well is, and it doesn't always need to make any sense, a little bit of shelving. Just a nice little bit. Shelving doesn't work there really, but you know, just like a random shelf always kind of looks cool to me. Just, I wish I could place something on it, but it just kind of takes up a little bit of space. It's, you know, it's not so boring. Coming up to here, if you wanted to, I mean, you could place some chests, maybe like an ender chest, if you really wanted to, like chest here and here. Although, will that make getting up and... Yeah, it kind of will, so we'll just get rid of those. Maybe we can get some item frames just to make it look a little bit more colourful, and we can add some swords, and we'll have like diamond chest plate. So here, 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 here. So those can be two little different chests. And something that I just noticed is the downstairs of this place is actually a little bit dark, isn't it? So why don't we add some torches here, here, and we'll just add them like in between the windows. We can add as many as we want, can't we? We don't really have to worry. Maybe not there, maybe just at the top of the archway there, and then in between the windows, and we can't add any here, but there, and it'll just make the house look a little bit brighter from the outside. And I mean, there you go. It just looks nice now. We didn't really put any effort into it. Something that I do like to do with the stairs, by the way, I like to back them with white stained glass block. So I don't know why I like to do this. I just think it looks cool. Don't know why, again, like I keep saying, got no clue, but that's what I like. And if you're really, really crazy like I am, you might want to take out your white wool and destroy the block underneath there, just so that we kind of have like white wool carpet underneath the glass. And what else can we put up here? There's not really any room in here. If you're going to put anything on the two like outer parts of here, so if you really weren't too bothered about the fact that, you know, you were using up space on the left and right. Something that I actually thought about doing, I thought about making a well out of like smooth sandstone or something. So a well's dimensions are something like 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's not symmetrical, is it? So we might have a 3x3 well. Yeah, there we go. So if we just have a single one, and then we could use dark oak fence. So here and here, here, and then is it a layer on top just here? We could have a mini well. Yeah, why don't we have a mini well? That might even make a little bit more sense. So we could just have like a mini well on the right here, and we can throw some water or some lava in there, whichever we were feeling at the time. Why don't we throw some lava in there just to light it up a little bit? So we could just have something that looked a little bit more like that, and that's a little bit more interesting. And on the right hand side, if you wanted to, you could just go a little crazy. You could add something like this. Maybe you wanted to add like a little bit of a like of a roof section, like I don't know, kind of like a sunbeddy area. Maybe you just want to like cover it up a little bit, and maybe we want to even stagger it a little bit. Maybe we want to have it so that it's fading down a little. We probably don't want it to come down anymore, but it's okay for it to have a little bit of shape, and maybe we just want it to cover that section there, and before you know it, you've ended up with something that looks terrible. Actually, that looks really bad. Is there any way to make that look a little bit better? Can we take out some quartz stairs, and can we make that look a little bit better? Can we like add some hinges on here, and can we make that look a little bit more? No, we can't. That just looks bad. Scratch that idea. That idea is a bad idea. But you guys get the point. You can kind of just improvise. You can kind of mess about with it as you will. And I don't think that I've ever done that before. I don't think that I've ever kind of like designed or messed about with an interior on recording before. But something, if you wanted to be, if you wanted it to make a little bit more sense, you could put some sunbeds up here. Sunbeds would definitely make sense, despite the fact that, you know, if you're living in the desert area, I'm sure that you get plenty of sun. I'm sure that there's no lack of it whatsoever. You could just put something up here, and if you wanted to, you could put a couple of potted plants, but I probably won't do that. And that, oh no, oh Jesus, that might have been a bad idea. Mayday, mayday. My well is on fire. I repeat, my well is on fire. Ah. Okay. And now we've caused another problem. Okay. Lava well, bad idea. Didn't expect it to set fire to... I flooded the house. Does that mean that... No, okay, safe and sound. But there you go, guys. That's the interior of the house. Let's have a bit of a walk around it. Let's take a look at the outside, and then we can kind of call this thing, because I've been rabbiting on here for quite a while. So we just have a nice little fireplace. Doesn't take up too much room. You can kind of just, you know, let the flow take you of how to make that. We have a little bit of a seating area. We've of course got the stairs here. We've got a nice little bit of a library section here. Always looks good. Always looks nice. Use bright flowers. Place them in between. Got an enchanting table. Looks nice. What happened to my carpet? There was a guys. There was a carpet. I'm guessing that the water washed that away, didn't it? The water washed away my goddamn carpet. I was happy with that. I enjoyed that. It made me happy having that carpet, and it's just been taken away from me. But it looks a lot something like this, didn't it? Or was it ever so slightly bigger? I can't remember. It was about like that, and it did actually make a little bit of difference. So now that we have the carpet back, we've got that on that side, that on that side. We've got the staircase coming up here. We've got a couple of chests here. We've got a nice little bit of a well, and on this right hand side we've just got a couple of sunbeds, and that's the house, guys. That's kind of like how I designed it to be, looking pretty nice. Let's take off the UI and we can actually circle the outside of it as well. So hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully you've managed to make it, and hopefully the last part hasn't been too boring for you. Like, that's kind of what I usually go through when I usually design interiors or mess about with exteriors. I kind of just play with things, and you know, sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. You saw that I tried to put like that red and white kind of like cover on the right hand side of the top. Didn't work out. Trial and error. Hopefully you liked it. Like, favorite, share if you did like it, guys. Like, favorite, share, that's the most important thing. Feel free to comment down below. Do you want to see more houses like this, kind of like biome houses? Because I definitely want to make some. I've got some more ideas for some desert style houses especially, and a couple of jungle houses as well. Feel free to check out the card system and the description below for all of my various tutorial playlists. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind. Hope you managed to make it, and I'll see you guys in... I want to show you guys. This is my favorite part. See you guys in the next video.